Joining me is Jack Lowenstein from Morphic Asset Management. Today we're talking about the US Fiscal Cliff. Jack, we're hearing a lot about the US Fiscal Cliff. Firstly, what is it?
Okay, the fiscal cliff is basically the result. The so-called fiscal cliff is the result of the last major fight that the President had with Congress about the budget deficit in the US. They agreed to disagree, and they had some very minor reforms. And the idea was they had about a one-year window in which to negotiate some major reforms to cut the deficit. And if they failed, and the agreement, what they agreed to do was, if they couldn't agree, there were some automatic cuts in expenditure and increases in taxes. And they hoped that they would get to an agreement because the Republicans didn't want the cuts in expenditure. The Democrats didn't want the cuts in expenditure, and the Republicans didn't want the rises in taxes. So unless they could agree to compromise, they both get things they didn't want. Right. And now, of course, typically what happens is there was a huge sigh of relief when they made the last fudge stroke agreement and kicked the can down the road. And now, and there was a great sigh of relief from both sides, because neither side had to make a decision before the election. But now the elections have passed and the moment of truth has arrived, and they have to try and negotiate some compromises. Otherwise, the automatic cuts in spending and increase in taxes come through. And according to most analysis, the impact of those cuts in spending and increases in taxes would be about a 5% hit to GDP, which would be kind of a big shock.
And that would put the US into recession.
Well, it would. It would be minus 5% growth.
So how do you see the US Fiscal Cliff panning out, Jack?
I've got a lot of confidence that there'll be a very, very painful and argumentative compromise that will probably keep the can down the road a bit further. It will probably achieve some modest improvements in the deficit, which will cause some slowing in short-term growth, but hopefully improve the potential for long-term growth. But I do expect this to be a regular occurrence. In return for lifting the ceiling on the total amount that the US government can borrow, there will be a decision to try harder next time, and then we'll get to next time and then have another fight. So this is a bit like QE3. We're going to be talking about QE4 and QE5 and QE6, and we're going to be talking about fiscal cliffs 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's not going to be resolved this time. They'll make some small progress, and they'll kick the can down the road and try and do better next time.
Thanks, Jack. For more details on follow-up stories to the US Fiscal Cliff, check out our website for details, or shoot us an email